Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
The
Mataji.
teachers come, no? That's why. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, sweet.
Hare Krishna
Sweet
Mataji and
Gita
Prabhuji,
Mataji.
Sadhya Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sadhya Pranam Mataji. Okay. So we will start. Hare Krishna. Welcome. I welcome you all to last chapter, 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We'll start and revise in between also. Pay our humble obeisance to Shri Radha Govinda. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. Start with the Mangalachana. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yen Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Is it coming? नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण विष्णु पुत्रे श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So next we pay our humble obeisances, all glories to his founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, His Soul Nature Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and Temple President His Krishna Manishla Rashtrapaji. What has happened to the video? Okay. So, why videos not coming? So today's chapter is Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, the perfection of realization. It is the conclusion chapter, right? It's a sign of a good teacher. That firstly, when the questions are asked, firstly he says that Krishna says that okay, these are my answers. Then the detailed explanation is there, and the conclusion is there, right? A sign of a true teacher, right? Before that, we will just revise a bit of about the previous chapters that we have done. Okay. So we have gone through, the three sections. The three sections were first for the karma sections, 1 to 6. Then karma, the actions are on the, then we learned about the action on the various platforms of knowledge, and then, perfection of action by Bhakti Yoga. Then we did the, 7 to 12, we did the Bhakti Yoga, attaining the Supreme, who is the absolute Supreme, and how to attain the Supreme, what happens at the end of the life, why to remember Krishna. Then we do whatever whatever tapasya do to do for the for the benefit of the Krishna. And then we went to the then the Virat Rupa, we saw the Vishwarupa, as we have seen the opulences has been seen in the 10th chapter, the 11th chapter we see in the Vishwarupa, and the 12th the pure bhakti we have seen. Then we have come to the 13 to 18 part, the Jnana Yuga, the Jnana knowledge, the difference between the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, different demonic and perfection of yoga. What is the perfection of yoga, right? Then we have entered in the 18th chapter, that is the conclusion. So now comes the, you will discuss the sections, the 1.1 to 2 to 7, the preparation for the war, then the 28 to 46 for the Arjuna's doubt, right? Come, right? And that diplomacy we have seen about the Duryodhana, and we've seen the, crying and, bewildered Arjuna, right? So three gunas of Prakriti is, three gunas of Prakriti is seen here. One is in Satoguna, the Arjuna Satoguna. Rajasi Guna, we know we have seen the Rajasi Guna, right, and the Tamasi Guna of Duryodhana, right. Then second chapter we learned about the various doubts were cleared by Krishna, right. What are his doubts, further doubts, and his surrender, right. Karpanya doshopata swabhava prachami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yasya yasha nishitam ruvitan me shishyaste hamsadi mam tvam prapannam, right. Shishyaste hamsadi, so he surrenders, right. So 2.11 to 30 we learned about the jnana, the fight. There is no doubt, no death for the for the soul, right. There is no death for the soul, right. So karma kanda, then we learned the karma. Not doing action is not recommended. If you are, even if you give your mind, a subtle, a small, small time to not have some engagement, then it will wander and go to the tamasic part only. Then 2.39, the fruits of the action to be gone, right? Then Sthita Pragna, who is Sthita Pragna, who is Sthita the Muni, then Sthita Pragna is no one who fights, become fixed in Krishna consciousness, fight but which fixed in Krishna consciousness, right? So what were his doubts? His were doubts were the compassion that was, gone by we are not the body, which is a Gyan Yoga, which is a Sankhya Yoga part, right? You are not the body, we are the soul, right? If you are someone who knows this knowledge, then the compassion doubt goes. No enjoyment, heaven or kingdom. Okay, do the karma kanda, right? You will either go in heaven or you enjoy the kingdom that we saw in the second part. Then third part, fear of sinful reactions, right? Then by the Buddhi Yoga, what it says, do devotional service like Hanuman, right? Do devotional service. No actions, no sense. Be a role model. Be a role model to prevent Varna Sanskara, right? If you don't do that, then definitely Varna Sanskara will be there. Then there is indication what to do, what not to do, right? Be serve the Lord with firm determination. If you are serving the Lord, that is Bhakti Yoga. That is no indecision is there. There is perfect knowledge, perfect goal is there. So what is the Karma Kanda in Gita? Karma Kanda is the section of the Vedas that lists rituals, ceremonies, and actions, which when performed lead one to enjoyment and power, right? What is the chapter 3? Chapter 3 is sections dealing with the confusion, renunciation of working in Nishkam Karma, right? Right, so on the third part, the Karma Kanda part, we have seen the dealing with confusion and renunciation of working in Nishkam Karma, right? From 3.10 to 16 is from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga, right? Then in the third section, we learn about Nishkam Karma, right? Acting dutifully with detachment, right? You do your duty, but without detachment to set the correct example, right? Then in the fourth section in the Karma Kanda, beware of lust and anger, because lust, anger, and greed, where it leads to hell. So what kind of karma is there? Better than renunciation, do pious and for bodily platform, right? Where various times the karma kanda is basically at the karma kanda perform prescribed duties, do not surrender results to Lord Krishna. That is karma kanda. Karma yoga it becomes when you surrender results to the Lord Krishna, right? Sakam karma yoga, perform prescribed duties and surrender partial results to the Lord Krishna. That is sakam karma yogi. Nishkam karma yogi, to perform prescribed duties, surrender results to Lord Krishna, right? My internet is, I guess, being a little unstable. Now it will come. Okay, so three parts of the karma. We learned about the karma in action, right? And chapter 3, basically we learned about the renunciation. What is renunciation? What is actual tyag, right? What is actual tyag? What is the yoga ladder? Are you doing karma yoga? Are you doing jnana yoga? Are you doing dhyana yoga? And ultimately one is ultimately going for the bhakti yoga. So we need a state directly. We need directly something as you know right. So there is exemplary. The lifestyle should be exemplary, right? This is being shown, right? In the 17 to 35 we learned about the what kind of basically example one must set, right? So Arjuna is recommended, right? You do your karma as per prescribed duties, but the result should not be taken by you. Why? Because you are not the doer. The three modes of material nature is the doer. Ahankar vimalatma karta miti mani, right? Prakriti kriya manani gune karmani sarvasa gune karmani, right? All the gunas, the three gunas are basically doing all the things, right? The biggest challenge of spiritual life, the biggest challenge of spiritual life, we are not knowing the knowledge, is doing, basically assuming that we have done it, the body is right. So one needs to conquer the lust, right? So overview is Arjuna's confusion is gone. Nishkam karma yoga is better than jnana yoga, right? Rather than renunciation, do your nishkam karma yoga. From karma kanda to approach to the karma yoga, and gradually one will elevate it to the spiritual platform. So the nishkam karma yoga is set to right example, right? And conquering lust, the greatest enemy, right? So he says in third, Ekamvada, tell me renunciation or action. So Krishna told that okay, Nishkam Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga, and from Karma Yoga to Karma Kand to Karma Yoga, lead by example. Yeah, yat achariti shreshtas. Whatever the leader does, the all the followers follows. Greatest enemy is the lust. And we learned about the cycle of sacrifice also, because if you say, if you directly approach the CEO, then all the demigods are satisfied. Why? Because from the Lord comes the Vedas, and Vedas prescribed duties are mentioned. You follow the duties, the sacrifice will be there, right? Dharma will be there, then Artha will automatically. The Artha is the sacrifice. Dharma is you follow duties. Artha is the food that you get, right? So Artha will automatically come. The duties you do, sacrifice is done, and then the rain will come. The rain, from the rain, grains will come. From the grains, food will come, and ultimately the Lord is satisfied, right? You give it to the Lord, and then what happens? This is cycle of sacrifice. Then everything is fulfilled. Then we come to the chapter 4, the summary, the transcendental yoga, right? Action in Krishna consciousness. So what is the position of Krishna, right? How, Sakalena Mata Yoga Nashtasa Parantama. He says, this knowledge was, coming as it is, but, Sakalena Mata. But by the time this all got destroyed, right? So now I am again telling you this knowledge. So he says that what is Krishna, why, how this knowledge has come. So applying the transcendental knowledge is the main thing. So through bona fide spiritual masters, sacrifices leads to transcendental knowledge, right? By the sacrifices, one leads to transcendental knowledge. Process of transcendental knowledge was explained then. Then chapter 5, we learned Nishkam Karma, Nishkam Karma easier than renouncing one. Again, we come to the Karma, right? Karma part only. How to perform Nishkam Karma, right? Krishna consciousness. Then platform of knowledge, we learned about the platform of knowledge and knowing the three doers. What are the three doers? The Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Then how to get liberation by focus on super soul. And the fifth part we learned about Ashtang Yoga, right? 8 forms of yoga, right? Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. Then the sixth part we learned about the peace on the platform of liberation, right? The peace formula, right? He is the, in the 5.29 we learned Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, right? If we know that he is the, ultimate enjoyer, he is the, he is the, all the sacrifices are being basically going to the Krishna himself, then we know the peace that he is the enjoyer, right? We are not the enjoyer. So Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sruhadam Sarvabhutanam, he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. Yeah? Gyatva Mam Santim Rachatin. One who knows this will be at peace when we free from pangs of material miseries, right? So this he told in the peace formula. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna is our only well-wishing friend. If you know this, then you will be at peace, right? Then we came to the chapter 6, in which we learned about easy and the by E, the enemy or friend, the mind is enemy or friend. Then you do Ashtanga yoga to progress, and Dhyana yogi does that. And success or failure, it does not tell about the think about the success or failure. That if one is success, then he goes to because if one is success, he will go to the Krishna loka, right? But if one is failed, then also, right, he says that you can either go to the if you are next, if you are advanced failure, look, because you have advanced much, but only little bit is awaited, then you will have birth in a very transcendental family. Then from there you will again start the same process, and and ultimately end in Krishna loka, right? But if you have done little progress, then you will go to one again to heaven, then fall back to some rich aristocratic family or wise family, so that the chapati problem is solved, and you can progress. But that risk is ours only, right? That is the risk. And he so says about why the topmost yogi, who is the topmost, the Shraddha, right? He says the yogi nam api sharve nam madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajite yomam sam yukta tamota. That is my opinion. That who abides with me and who worships me, right? And in his heart, and I will always live in his heart, right? This is said by Krishna. So the ladder of spiritual development, the first ladder is either karma kanda, fruitive worker performing rituals for elevation to heavenly planets, doing all the rituals and doing yagna and all that pious activities, and want to go, wants to go to the heavenly planet. That is just karma kanda. No devotion is there, right? Karma yogi, renouncing the fruits of one's labor, right? One's fruit, whatever fruits is there, you are dedicated to Krishna. That is the step one. And from there you start. It is the spiritual yoga, right? From the second part, the Gyan Yoga side, right? Renouncing fruits and speculative knowledge about the Brahman outside. One must know that what is Brahman, one must know what is Paramatma, one must know what is Bhagavan. Then that is the Gyan Yoga. Then we come to the third part, Ashtanga Yoga, very difficult, renouncing fruits plus knowledge plus control of mind and senses by the eightfold path, by meditation on Paramatma, super soul within the heart. That is very tough process. Not recommended for this age. For this age, Hari Nam Evam Kelam, right? So loving devotion, Bhakti Yoga comes to the loving devotion service to the Supreme Lord Bhagwan Shri Krishna. We are directly approaching to the through the lift. We directly want to go to the Krishna Loka. And then we came to start with the Bhakti Yoga seventh part, in which the knowledge through hearing. Then what is the Krishna? Glories about the knowledge about the Krishna, who is absolute. We wanted to know. So Krishna, six opulences are there. What are the energies of the Krishna? You can taste in the water, light of the sun. Various energies he described there. And then one must, who accepts Sukritana, Dushkritana, who accepts Krishna, who does not accept Krishna, four types of person who accepts Krishna, four types of person who doesn't accept Krishna. Then we learned that. And we learned what happens to demigod worshippers, right? Where do they go? Yanti Deva Vrata Deva Pitra Nyanti Pitrvata Bhutani Yanti Bhutekya Mad Yanti Mad Yagino Pima, right? Whoever worship demigods go to demigods, whoever worship ancestors go to ancestors, whoever worship ghosts and spirits live among them, and whoever worships me will live with me, right? So this is told by Krishna himself. So who become a devotee from delusion to devotion, right? Who becomes a devotee from one is having a delusion or devotion, it depends on you. From the 8th chapter, then we know how to attain the supreme, right? So remember how at the time of death, so antakale chamamiva sparan mukta kalirvam, right? One who remembers me alone, right? Antakale chamamiva, only me alone, right? Remember at the time of remembering Krishna at the time of death, then he attains Madhava, right? So remembering Krishna by Yoga Mishra Bhakti, then we learn about Yoga Mishra Bhakti by by just dedicating on the dedicating on the Paramatma feature of the Lord, right? Remember Krishna by pure bhakti, or you can remember by pure bhakti, right? Always wanted to serve the Lord. Prahlad always wanted to serve the Lord. That is by pure bhakti. Remember Krishna always by pure bhakti. Always want to please the Lord. That is the pure bhakti. So we learned how is material world temporary and how is the spiritual world. It is a supreme abode. And who is the supreme? The supreme of pure bhakti and attaining Krishna. Right? So what is supreme? Attaining Krishna. That is pure bhakti. And we come to the 9th chapter, Raj Vidya, the confidential, most secret, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, right? It is the purest, it is the secrets of the Raj Vidya, it is the confidential knowledge, right? That's why it's in between. And Ashwari Gana, Krishna's relationship with this world, right? Within this world, right? Everything is coming from him, right? So everything he comes from me, everything emanating from me, everyone is part and parcel. That we learned in ninth chapter. And different type of worshippers. We learned about different types of worshipper, right? Duskritanose, right? We learned about different Duskritanose. Then the glories of Krishna Bhakti, right? Glories of the Krishna Bhakti, right? That he basically, he Namidveshis Priya. Yeah, he says that I envy no one. I am not partial to anyone, but whoever worships me, I am become a friend of, I become a friend of him, right? So he takes special care of his devotees. So we learned this in the ninth chapter. Then we came to the summary of Chatushloki, that what is Sambandha, right? What is our relationship with the God, Sambandha, what is Abhideya, how it is the process to attain the Krishna, and what is the prayojana, who to attain, right? Whom to attain. So become knowledgeable, right? We learned in the Chatushloki, become knowledgeable, be protected under Krishna, and derive, the Bhakta derive basically the great satisfaction bliss, always conversing about me, right? Aham sarvasya prabhava mata sarvam pravartate, right? He says that. ये भजन्ति तो माम भक्त्या बुद्ध भाव समन्विता, right? So he gives basically, he gives basically, all the knowledge that is needed, just to attain him. So devotee surrendered, devotee becomes aham savrasya prabhava mata sarvam pravarti, right? That is, and the process is thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, right? In the 10.9 he says that always, he is thinking about me only. And 10.9 he says that life fully devoted to my service, always devoted, right? What is the awareness? Source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pavarte. From me emanates everything, right? He says that. In the, in the 10.12 also he says that, the satatam kirtayantoma, then satatam, he says that tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvangam. Whoever, always chanting my glories, and, always, tesham satata, always, Bhajatam Preeti Purun, always, being devoted to me in with love, right? With love. Bhajatam Preeti Purvakam, right? Uh, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He gives the understanding by which one comes to him, right? So he says that, if always, always dedicated to me, worshipping me, so he gives the understanding. So he will give the understanding that is, mentioned in the Chatushloki. So he is the source of everything that exists. Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Mata Sarvam Pravartate. Source of the knowledge, he is the source of knowledge, destroys all impediment, right? So overview of chapter 10 was, Krishna is unknowable, and, source of all. The pure bhakti is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, right? Arjuna accepts Krishna as the supreme position, right? He is Param Dhama, Param Brahma, right? He says that Param Dhama, right? Nothing is, nothing is above him, right? Krishna describes his Vibhuti. What are his Vibhuti, right? Various incarnations and all, he says that. Then the chapter is 11, we learned our request, Arjuna's request to show universal form, right? Please show your universal form, right? For us, right? For setting example for us. So Lord Krishna describes his universal form. Sanjay describes Arjuna's vision, Arjuna's experience of seeing, right? He was bewildered. He says that, okay, because that is, that is a cosmic, that transcendental form, and it is also temporary, right? It is not, it is not the original form, right? So that is the Virat Rupa was seen by the Arjuna, right? And Krishna replied, become my instrument, right? He replies that don't be bewildered, become my instrument and fight. And Arjuna prayed that, okay, I know who are the Lord, it is been said by the great sages also, confirmed by the great sages. So Arjuna requests, Dashtam Ichhami tu Rupam. Arjuna describes uniform form. Mauni Adashta Purvani, huge form. Arjuna's vision of the, he then describes of the universal form, Anika Bhuta Darshanam. Arjuna's then experience, the Tamna Vindami Samam Cha Vishnu. Then Krishna's reply, Kalosmi Lokasya Krat Pravada. He says that I am the Kal, right? I am the Kal. If someone don't believe in it, then also the time will come and one will be destroyed. He is the Kal, right? He is the time. So Arjuna's prayer is Sadgadadam Bhita Bhita Pranayamaya. He was bewildered. He asked to come to the two-handed form, right? And that is the original form. The pure bhakti needed to see Krishna, right? So who can see the, Virat Rupa? Pure bhakti. Bhaktyatva Ananya Shakya. And the mercy of the Lord. And we come to the 12th chapter. 12th chapter is, full bhakti, right? All bhakti. So bhakti over impersonal, we discussed on that. Then what are the various stages of, devotion from highest to, lowest, from, getting, what is, one is having, basically at the lowest level, one is not understanding. At the highest level, one is just by hearing, one is understanding. And one is not even having experience, that also not, getting. So that is the lowest. So 12.13.20 we learned qualities that endear one to Krishna. Who, for whom one is dear to Krishna, right? Always pleasing, right? All the qualities, he says that one who does that, does not, basically give difficulties to anyone else, put in difficulty anyone else, various shloka we learned that one devotee or that person is dear to him, right? So we also learned about the various forms of bhakti, ananya bhakti, right? Ananya bhakti without rule, all rules. It is, it is basically, it comes, automatically. It's automatic, right? The Ananya Bhakti, right? Then there is Sadhana Bhakti, that is, following the rules and regulation. If you one cannot do the Ananya Bhakti, then follow the rules and regulation. If you cannot do that, then you do Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma, offer the fruits of result, action, do everything for the Krishna. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga. If you cannot do that, then do Sakam Karma. Sakam Karma means not offering to the Krishna, but but just leave all the results, don't believe, don't keep results with you, don't have anything attachment to the results, and just be situated in the self, that is calm. If you cannot do that, then do the dhyana yoga, right? But if you cannot do dhyana yoga, then you can go to the jnana yoga. Jnana yoga, cultivation of knowledge, but he says the better than cultivation of knowledge is to do some action, right? So all the six you can, 6 years done, so that you can ultimately go to the Ananya Bhakti. He also recommend to going to the Ananya Bhakti. So top three are related to Krishna, right? Bottom three are related are without Krishna, right? So we want to be, in the whatever karma we are doing, we want to do that for the Krishna, right? So at least we start from that. At least we want to start from the Nishkam Karma Yoga, right? By the mercy of the spiritual Guru. So text 20, devotional service. Devotional service is the dearest of all, one who makes Krishna as the goal of his life. Right? That is mentioned, right? They follow this imperishable path of devotional service, makes Krishna as supreme goal of their life, and completely engage themselves with faith. And we came to the 13th chapter. That's sixth question. What is, various questions on, what to do, and what is, what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, what is Paramatma, all these questions, right? So describes the, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, and Jnanam. Then what is the process of acquiring the knowledge? Then he says the object of knowledge, right? Who is the object of knowledge? Krishna himself. What is the relationship in between, Prakriti, Purusha, and their union, right? And how it is manifested. Then the Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge, it was mentioned. So the sixth question where what is Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, and Geyam, right? Arjuna answers 3, 4 in the field of activities and knower of the field, right? What is the body? What is the soul? What is the Paramatma? Krishna further answers to question 5, the process of knowledge and liberation, right? Then he answers question 6, the object of knowledge, Krishna himself. Then he answers questions 1 and 2, who is Prakriti? What is Purusha and their union, right? Various, we are all Prakriti. Purusha is Krishna himself. But then the Gyan Chakshu, the vision of knowledge is imparted. Then we came to the 14th chapter, the three modes, that is, the Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and what is the race of prominence in that, the variously, all the three fight among themselves, one wins. And what are the various kinds of actions in these modes, and what is pure life, right? Then we came to the 15th chapter, in which, how to become detached from the material world. It is being told in the 15th chapter, right? And what is transmigration from 15.6 to 11, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshu. Then we learned about the Krishna as the maintainer, Sarvas, Vedasya Sarvar Aham Eva Vedyams. Right? He says that I am the knower of the Vedanta, and from the Vedas, I am to be known. Right? I am to be known, and whatever there is, I am to be known. Sarvasya Chaham Pradishyanamishtu, right? Mata Smritir Jnanam Apamamcha. He says, I am, from me comes a remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, right? Vedasya Sarver Aham Eva Veda, Vedanta Vid Kreda Edam Aham. So summary of Vedanta Sutra, that what is the summary? That Iti Goya Tamam Shastram, right? I need to be known. Krishna needs to be known of all the Vedanta, right? That is the summary. Then we came to the 16th chapter, which is the divine basic difference between divine and demonic qualities. That what is the demonic nature? What kind of demonic natures are there? And you have the choice. What choice you choose, it's up to you. In the 17th chapter, Krishna inquire about unauthorized worship, one who, does not worship Krishna but something else. What happens to those? So Krishna answers that there are three modes in which one's faith and worship is there. There are three modes in which various foods are there. There are three modes in which one does the sacrifice. There are three modes in which one does austerity and penances. There are three modes in which one does the charity, and ultimate truth is the Om Tat Sat, right? Sacrifice charity should be offered to the Supreme. We learned in the statement that Hari Om Tat Sat. In the chapter 18, we will be learning about the summary of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, colliding in here. Various modes of nature we will learn. Then what is ideal worker do, what is the love of Godhead, and the end result. Right. So in the chapter 18, we will learn from freedom from bondage to karma, from 18.1 to 12. Then what are the five factors of action? That you cannot do any action without these five factors. Any action that is being performed, anything you are seeing around, an aeroplane is going above, any class being taken or any class being listening, all these five factors, anything being done, anything being acted upon, the five factors are necessary. If those five factors are not there, then it cannot be done, right? And what are the three modes of controlling everything, right? Nata dashti prithvayamba. What is the purification through varnashrama dharma? How to through varnashrama dharma one gets purified? What is the Brahman platform? That is the confidential knowledge. Man bhaktim labate param bhaktyam mama pinadati. What is pure bhakti? That is action in Krishna conscious. Sarva dharma parityajan, the ultimate essence of Gita. And then the conclusion, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. So these are the part that will be learned, right? Okay, so we will start the 18th chapter now. Okay. अर्जुनोवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेशा पृथक् केशिनिषूदना. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation and the renounced order of life. O killer of Kesi demon, master of the senses. Right? He is saying that Tyaga and renounced order of life. Basically, tell me the purpose. Okay, you have told me everything, no, all the karmas and the bhakti yoga, all. Then why? But why? Because one knows this. Then why? What is the purpose of renunciation? What is the purpose of tyaga? Why to do tyaga? Why to do leave? Why to do tyaga? What is the renounce order of life? Right? How? Why to do sannyas and all? Why to leave everything? Right? This question comes. So Sri Bhagwan Uvacha Kamayam Kamayanam कर्मणाम नाशम संन्यासम कव्यो विदवा सर्वकर्मा फला त्यागम brahosvagam vichakshana. The Supreme Lord said to give up the results of all activities is called renunciation, right? What is tyaga? Just you are giving the results of activities, not the activities. What is actual tyaga? Krishna is saying you don't have to give up the activities. You need to perform your activities as it is, right? Just give up the results. Don't fear about the results, right? By the wise side. And that state is called renounce order of light. If you are doing that, you are currently also in the renounce order of light, right? By the great learned man, right? So everyone, he is saying that how basically, to give up the results of activities is called renunciation by the wise, right? But, a great learned man, what they say that, and the state is called renounce order of light, right? He is saying that this is said by the, great learned man. Some learned men declared that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up, but there are yet other sages who maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Right? He says that some are there, some learned men there who says that all kind of fruitive activities should be given up. Right? Whatever fruitive activities are, you do take sannyasa and go. Right? But still there are sages who says that the acts of sacrifice should be done, sacrifice must be done, charity must be done, and penance should never be abandoned, right? This all should be done, right? 18.5 Yagnadana tapa karma na kyajam karyam eva tat yagnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed, right? Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls, right? So, acts of sacrifice, he is saying, the Krishna is himself saying that sacrifice must be done, the charity must be done, penance should be done, right? Indeed, sacrifice, charity, penance purify even the great souls. By this, what happens? This your purification should be done. So what kind of what kind of yagna we are doing? Hari Sankirtana yagna. We are doing Sankirtana yagna. It should not be amended. So the Daksha's head is cut, but yet the sacrifice is continued, right? Daksha's head was cut, but the sacrifice was continued. What? Because why? Because it was for the Supreme Lord. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. He is the Supreme Lord. It was being done for him. So he continues with the goat side because more important is that the sacrifice should continue, right? Why? Because the sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord. It is to please the Lord, right? It is for the pleasure of the Lord. So Ganapati's head is also, Ganapati's head is also similar. And this proves that intelligence is not stored in the head, right? Is your intelligence in the head? No. If some scientists say there is intelligence in the head, no, it is attached to the soul. The mind, intelligence, and false ego is attached to the soul. So even if head is gone, the new head comes. What happens? The soul is there. All the knowledge is there, right? Right, because these are not some mythology, right? These are not mythology, these are Puran. The Puran means Puranic histories, right? These are histories, right? Old histories is there. These are all history. It is a history book. But not, it's not like it's not a mythology, right? So एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्था निश्चितं मतम उत्तमम. These people are saving animals because the Shastra says all plants animals are our brothers and sisters. They are protecting it not for any material gain but as a duty, right? They are just doing as a duty. So all these activities should be performed without any expectation of the result. No expectation, and some animal NGO is going on, they are doing it just for the pleasure of them, right? Just for the pleasure of the the living beings, right? There no result expectation is there, right? They should be performed as a matter of duty. O son of Pratha, that is my final opinion. Yagnadana tapa karma na tyajam karyam. We did this. Okay. So 18 point, from 18.789, we will learn that what is prescribed duties. One is being basically in a sattva in a goodness, he performs the prescribed duties, because out of duty. One is in a mode of passion, he will try, he will think that he will want to do the activity, but he will not do, right? It will come to his mind that yes, I have to do the duty, and at the thinking, feeling, and willing level, he will we come at the feeling level but will not execute it. That is the mode of passion, right? Because reason will be there, difficulty in duties, there is so much, so much things to do, the various difficulty of duties, he will say, the various way of fear, he will say. So that is mode of passion, the excuses are being given, right? And the ignorance, he will be an illusion, that why to perform all this, why to perform, what is the use, right? This is with the ignorance. So here comes, main shloka of us, that, O mighty Amarjuna, learn from me of the 5 factors which bring about the accomplishment of all action, right? These 5 factors are not there, you cannot walk. These 5 factors are not there, you cannot even cook in the kitchen. With these 5 factors, you cannot eat, right? Because, if your 2 hands are gone, how will you eat? Right, some arrangements are already there, right? You are bestowed with some arrangements already. If there is, if there is, the coronavirus was there, so what happened? So even if your breathing is controlled by the maintainer, right? Everything is by control. So these are declared in the Sankhya philosophy to the place of action, right? That these are declared in Sankhya philosophy to be the place of action. What are the 5 actions, 5 factors that is needed? There must be place of action, right? Then there should be the performer, right? The performance, the engineer. Suppose you have to build some, building some must be there. So there should be field of action, right? There is a field of action. There is a kshetra, and there is a field of action, right? You need a, basically some, some land you need. Then you need the performer. The engineer must be there. Then you need the senses, the various instruments you need. The various instruments you will be needing, right? All the instruments you will be needing to make this. Then you need the endeavor, right? If you don't have the endeavor, how to make this, you don't have the knowledge how to do this, then what is, that factor is missing, then how will you make the building? So endeavor should be there. And ultimately the super soul, right? The ultimately, all the basically luck should be there, right? You tried everything, then one, a good manager said that who takes care of the other 4 factors, right? The good manager is, can be just seen by the 4 factors. Has he seen the 4 factors? If he has seen the 4 factors, the 5th factor is not in his hand. It is ultimately a super soul, the permitter and the Updashtanumantacha, right? He is the permitter and the seer, overseer, right? So that is the super soul. So therefore, one who thinks himself the only the doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Right? One who thinks that he is the doer, then he is foolish. He is just foolish. Right? There is nothing is there. He is just assuming that all the factors has come into place just by no sir. Actually the four factors were there. If you even if you take care of the four factor, the fifth factor must be there, to execute anything. If you want to cook in the kitchen, all the five factors is there. You are there. You have a kitchen, you have all the utensils, you are there, you have endeavor, yeah, that how to make it. And finally, if basically the roof falls down, what happens? You cannot cook, right? So it is permitted that the roof should be there on that day, right? So now the object of the knowledge, the object of the knowledge, and the knower are the three factors which motivate action, right? Who motivates the knowledge? One must have some knowledge, right? If you have the knowledge, you want to go to the Krishna Loka, then only you will be motivated, right? If you have the object of knowledge, who is Krishna, having the six opulences, he is the father, right? He is the Bijam Pitama. So then you will go, right? And the knower, right? One must be knower, that there is a knower are the three factors which motivate the action, right? The senses, the work, and the doer comprise the threefold basis of action, right? So action, senses, and worker are, should be, the three factors, motivated of by knowledge, object of knowledge, knower, and the doer comprise the threefold basis of action. Right, so knowledge is having, the object of knowledge is, the ball. One wants to basically throw the ball, and the knower is there himself must be there, right? The three kinds of lots of factors are, various at the knowledge level: happy, disturbed, mad. Ignorance, basically, happy is basically, happy, goodness, and happy means goodness being a satoguna, right? That is, one factors can be in the satoguna. Second factor can be in the rajas guna, that is passion, and it will be disturbed. And the third factor can be in the tamas guna, that is ignorance and mad and delusion. Right, so this is you can do this, right? Following 6 slides at ratios based on 1 to 3, on which category you fall under, 1 being the lowest and the 3 being the highest, right? So we'll go to the next sloka. We'll go to the next sloka. So what are the three kinds of knowledge? What are the three kinds of knowledge based on the modes of material nature, right? So we'll learn start from the satoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna, right? So start from the satoguna, the knowledge by which undivided spiritual nature is seen in all existence, right? What is the knowledge? The knowledge by which samadarshana pandita, right? You see a undivided spiritual nature is seen in all existence, right? You see Paramatma everywhere. Undivided in the divided is knowledge in the mode of goodness, right? The knowledge by which a different type of living entity is seen to be dwelling in different bodies, right? You see different persons, you think he is different, right? No, those are just a Chaitanya, right? Those are the field of activities, right? That is just due to the karma, that is just a prakriti, right? That is just a prakriti by which one has got the body, different bodies one has got, right? So that is a mode of passion. One is assuming that it is basically different due to the body, and that is a mode of passion, right? And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as that all in all without knowledge of the truth, right? One is attached to the work, right? Too much attached to the work, and he has no knowledge of the truth, that he is not the body, is the soul, and which is very meager, right? Small things, and is said to be in the mode of darkness, right? What is the second action? Three kinds of actions are there, right? You can just rate it. You come into the first part, third three. If you are in the three, you give yourself 3 numbers for the first part. You give yourself 2 numbers. If you comes in the second part, you comes yourself 1 number, right? You comes in that part. Second action, right? Second action is, right, as kinds of actions. What kind of action we do can be divided into 3 parts, right? Action in accordance with, are you following as per duty, which is performed without attachment, without love or hate, right? No attachment is there, no love is there, or no hate is there, right? Nothing is like that. One by one who has renounced fruitive results is called action is mode of goodness, right? You give yourself 3 for that. If your action is, if one's action is like action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires, because your great effort is being put to make huge buildings and huge buildings. But what you will do, you will only go to the sleep under the one bed only, right? Huge desires are there, huge longings and desires are there, right? But it is just to satisfy the desire there, which is enacted from a sense of false ego. False ego, why false ego? Because one assumes that he is the body, right? He is not the soul. So every attachment is to the body. It's called action in mode of passion, and that action performed in ignorance and delusion without consideration of future bondage. One is not thinking about future bondage, just doing that at as whimsical or consequences, which inflicts injury in practical, which is injury, right? Which is impractical also, and is said to be action in the mode of goodness, right? There is one person who is trying to, to become basically, become basically young again and again. So what he does is in delusion, he takes the blood from his, child also. He takes blood from, platelets from his child, various methods he is trying, various methods, his injury, various inflicting injury and practical, right? Being impractical, because kalos me, right? Kalos me, even Ravana and Hiranyaksha, these are great, great tapasvis only. They also were killed, right? They also do, because Kalos me, he is the Kal, he is the Kal. The time will, will basically take up anyone. No one is there, you can also, it is practical, right? That no one can be there. So achieving the impractical is not, just in the mode of ignorance. You can give here 1, 2, 3, right? What kind of worker one is? The worker who is free from all material attachments and false ego. No material attachment is, but he is still doing. Who is enthusiastic and resolute, and who is indifferent to success or failure, right? Best example is Srila Prabhupada, right? He went to the, he went to America just, when we went there, and then he said that why you are coming there? He said that I came here just by the order of my spiritual master, that it was his order, that simple. At that age, at the age, that age, he's saying that just I'm following the my principle, the spiritual master, my guru has told me to go here, right? So sincerely he's resolute, by 40, around 40 years, no results were coming, by doing the bhakti and doing the all forms of duty. But after age of still, always enthusiastic, who is enthusiastic and resolute, and who is indifferent to success or failure, because he had full faith. It's a worker in mode of goodness, right? But that worker who is attached to the fruits of his labor, he is attached to fruits of his labor, and who passionately wants to enjoy them, right? Who is greedy, envious, and impure, moved by happiness, distress, is a worker in the mode of passion, right? And that worker who is always engaged in work against the injunction of the scripture, one is, it is not prescribed, still you're going for that. Who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating, is a worker in the mode of goodness, right? All the qualities, right? One can read according. What kind of intelligence or understanding is having in the three modes, right? So, O son of Pratha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating. That understanding is established in the mode of goodness, right? We need to keep this filter, right? One must know that what ought to be done, what not to be done, what is to be feared, what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, right? Is going to the club liberating or binding? One must know, right? Keep this filter. And that understanding which cannot distinguish between the religious way of life and irreligious, right? What is dharma, what is sadharma, what doesn't know what is the principles of religion, so right? So that is between the action that should be done and action that should not be done. What doesn't know that, which cannot distinguish or understand, that imperfect understanding of son of Pratha is in mode of passion, right? But one who is committing the religion, right? That understanding which considers religion to be religion, right? One is doing religion, not accepting the Lord, right? Not accepting the Lord, blaspheming the Vedic scriptures, blaspheming the Lord, these are all, irreligion kind of thing only, because we are not accepting the truth, right? So religion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in the wrong direction, right? Always opting the wrong path, or partha is in the mode of ignorance. Then determination, what kind of determination one is having? O son of Pratha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of mind, life, and senses, and determination is the mode of goodness, right? There, Srila Prabhupada, he was so determined. Wake up, he start at the 6 o'clock. He's doing the morning walk. Then he starts from the 8 o'clock. He does the Bhagavatam class. Then in the evening, at the evening at 5 o'clock, all the dignitaries, all the persons who want to meet him, he went, came, and then at 10 o'clock he used to sleep, and at 1 o'clock he used to wake up and start writing all the scriptures, right? All the scriptures, translation of all the scriptures, he start, right? So much dedicated, right? So determination of Sarvapratha, that determination which is unbreakable, it is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice. What is the yoga practice Srila Prabhupada do? Bhakti yoga, Bhakti yoga. He did only Bhakti yoga, and thus controls the mind, life, and the acts of senses is in the mode of goodness, right? And by determination by which one holds fast to fruitive result in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is the nature of passion, right? He was basically in the fruitive results in the resultant religion, right? Doing karma kanda, doing yagna just for fruitive result, doing economic development just for sense gratification. That is, nature of passion. Determination which cannot be beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Such unintelligent determination is in the mode of darkness. What are the types of happiness? Right? Satoguna's happiness, that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is like nectar, and which awakens one to still passion, is said to be happiness in mode of goodness. Right? Even if you're preparing for some exams or something like that, if you don't give the time to it, what happens at the end? All the poison is there, right? All the poison is there. If you prepare, you just find you will be calm and fine in the exam, right? Why? Because you have taken poison before, you have sacrifices, various things you have sacrifices, and just, and then attain the nectar, right? At the end, it will be nectar, right? He is saying that. And which awakens one to self-realization is said to be happiness. And one must strive for what? Not for the sense satisfaction. One must strive for the happy self-realization. Self-realization is the ultimate happiness, right? And the tamas, and that happiness which is bind to self, which is blind to self-realization, but which is basically not going for the self-realization, everything, work is worship, right? That is just delusion, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion is said to be of nature of ignorance, right? So, so first part, just beginning in the maybe, maybe just poison, but at the end nectar is goodness, and then, that happiness which derived from contact of senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but poison at the end, is said to mode of nature. Just opposite to the goodness is, passion, where, basically one is seeing, enjoying life, enjoying life, right? Doing all fruitive activities, enjoying life, doing all fruitive activities, enjoying life, right? So that is just, that is just basically nectar in the, nectar in the starting, that, but at the end it is just poison, right? So in the 37, in the 38, right, it is like that. So in the 37, you can see the poison is less. In the poison is, it is basically 37. You see that it basically at the end, what you get, nectar most of the poison is very less, right? Poison is very less, right? And the material happiness, nectar is very less, right? Nectar is very, there is enjoyment. We are not saying there is no enjoyment, there is enjoyment, that, but that is very little less what we are practicing, and the ultimate enjoyment is not there. So results near 18, good, then it's good. Whatever results you have got, 18 is good. Near 6, not so great. Near 12, pick up yourselves, right? What are the ashrama types? What four kinds of ashramas are there, right? The Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, right? But these are all as per the guna, right? He is also says guna, Brahmani, Kshatriya, Visham, Shudram, cha Parantap, Karmani, Pravi, Bhaktani, Swabhava, Prabhai, Vargunai. He is also Swabhava, Prabhai, Vargunai. So by the gunas, one becomes sad, basically a Brahmin is a priest, scholars and teachers, Kshatriya, the rulers, warriors, administrators, Vaishyas are agriculturists and merchants, and Shudra are laborers and service providers. It's not by the exam that you give and one becomes administrator. It's not by like that. One must have the guna also. The guna is very necessary. A Brahman, a Shudra become an administrator, or a Brahman become an administrator. The chaos will be there. He will become in tension, because a Brahman becoming a Kshatriya, he will not be politically inclined, or he will not be speaking ill, or he will not be speaking rather untruth, right? No lie, he will be speaking for the good, because as per Shastra he will go. That is not required in the Kshatriya, right? The guna is not like that, right? So the guna is necessary, right? We need to know our swabhava. That is very difficult in the Kali Yuga, because Kalo Shudreshu, all are in the Kali Yuga, all are Shudra only, all are Shudra, right? Because all are following someone or the all was doing service to one or other, right? One is doing to sense, you are either doing to sense gratification, If you are not doing that, and then become a Vaishnava. Vaishnavas are above all these Varna system. The Vaishnava is above the Varna system because he is transcendental to this Varna system, right? So it is for everyone. That's why Vaishnavas are more purer or more advanced than Brahmin also. Right? So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own nature. They have their own nature, right? It's not dependent on your father, right? It's not dependent on your in which place you take place, right? In accordance with the material modes, various material modes, or chastiser of the enemy, right? Here he says clearly, right? So four kinds of ashrama based on modes of material nature. Peacefulness, self control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. Right? These are qualities by which Brahmanas work. Right? Brahmanas have all these qualities. Right? You think that which qualities you have, which you don't have. Right? What 18.43. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. Right? These are the qualities you think which qualities are there because you will from this book you will get to learn that what qualities you are having and just to know a swabhav a little bit of your own, right? What swabhav you are. 18.44 farming, cattle raising, and winners are qualities of work for the Vaishyas, and for the Shudras there is labor and service to others, right? यत प्रवृत्ति भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मण तम अभ्यार्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दन्ति मानवा. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. Right? By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings. Right? By worship of the Lord, who is what? Who is source of all beings. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Right? Who is all pervading. He is everywhere. Mata sarvam parvartate. Right? Mata sarvam parvartate. Here also. Man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. Right? Shreyan swadharmo viguna. Than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly, right? Because whatever banging, they're all not they wish to just climb, right? Wish to climb, right? So one says, first to climb the tree wins, right? But all are as per their, the gunas are different, the swabhav are different, right? So it's better to perform, Krishna is saying better to perform one's duty, one's occupation, even though imperfectly, right? It is better, right? But you engage in your own occupation, right? Because you will be satisfied. That is your guna, that is your guna. You will be satisfied in that, right? Then to accept other occupation and perform it perfectly. But accepting other occupation, just trying to perfect it, just you are taking injury on yourself only. You are inflicting pain on yourself, right? So prescribed duties according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions, right? It is never affected by sinful reaction, right? As per, as per one's nature, because it will never act sinful to you. So one can obtain the results of renunciation simply by self-control and by becoming unattached to material things and disregarding material. How can obtain the results of renunciation? By just doing self-control and being unattached to the material things, right? Just don't consider what are the feeling and willing level at the level of mind. Don't consider the material enjoyment. Don't contemplate on it. That is just it's just a message. That is the highest professional stage of renunciation, right? So I am grahastha. Grahamedi means do your activity, but you are not offering it to the Lord. That is the grahamedi. Grahastha is basically doing everything whatever the grahamedi is doing, but what he is offering, the attitude is to offer it to the Lord. Everything is basically being offered to the Lord, right? Both are doing the same activities, but the attitude and the level of consciousness are way more different in both the things. One is doing karma kanda, one is doing karma yoga, right? So knowledge of the soul and understanding that Krishna is in everyone's heart as Paramatma, calling us back to him lovingly in the Gita, right? This is the basic knowledge, this is the basic knowledge we are once meant gets. So 18.5 Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochiti Na Kankshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labate Maram. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, right? One who is thus transcendently situated once realizes the Supreme Brahman. Prasannatma, how you will get Prasannatma? By realizing that one, Supreme Brahman. One knows that everywhere is, Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Paramatma is everywhere. Na sochati, na kankshati. He never laments nor desires to have anything, right? He will never lament, right? Because everything belongs to the Lord, right? Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, he is equally disposed to every living entity. Because Samadarshina Pandita, right? Because he know that everyone is, everyone is having the Paramatma in them, right? One signal fragment of him, the Shirodaksha Vishnu is and everything, right? So he is equally disposed. The dog and the human being is equally disposed. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me, right? Mad bhaktim labati param, right? So if you want to attain pure devotional service, then this is the process, right? So here also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also says Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam, right? Sarvopadi, when abandon all kinds of material in material designations, right? Right? He says Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesha. When try to attain, to attain the to attain the Supreme Lord, one needs to purify his senses, right? He needs to purify his senses. Purify the senses, then one attains basically the bhakti. That is, bhakti. That is the definition of bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhiyanati yaman yasyashmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato yatva vishate tadanandaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as His only by devotional service. How one can understand? Just doing the devotional service, right? Whatever you do, the dhyan yoga, then whatever efforts you are taking, whatever you are doing, but you are not doing devotional service, you are not trying to please the Lord, then that is not a devotional service, and one cannot thus know the Lord, right? He is saying that one needs to know Him just to reach His support, right? And one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God, right? One is having the full consciousness, right? Pirana Kale Mavya, right? Smaran Mukta Kalebra, right? He is saying at the end of the life, attain, right? सर्वकर्माणि अपि साधा कुर्वाणो मद व्यापश्रा मद प्रसादत अपनो अवप्नोति शाश्वतम पदम अव्ययम. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode of my by my grace, right? So he is giving assurance, right? Though engaged in all kind of activities, he is not saying that leave your activity and go to the jungle, go to the forest, and try to attain me. He is not saying that. He is not, saying this, that leave all the activity. The other, he is saying, come under my devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and perishable abode of my grace. Right? So he is not saying to abandon. मच्चित्त सर्व दुर्गानि मत्प्रसादात्तरिष्यसि अथा चेत्त्वम् अहङ्कारं नाशोष्यसि विनक्ष्यसि. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, what is happening? You are trying to, become consciousness of Krishna. Right? By chanting, you are giving your time, you are giving your mind to Krishna, right? By that, what happens? All the obstacles of conditioned life, you are having obstacles of conditioned life, lust, anger, and greed, right? These are the obstacles of conditioned life. You are in that only. So one is in that. What he does, he needs to become consciousness. So he is saying, if you become consciousness of me, so how Srila Prabhupada has told, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, you would think that you are the body, you are the only doer, not hearing me, you will be lost. Lost again and again, birth and death take place. No one can help you because one needs to help themselves. One is basically, one is not selfish actually. One is saying that one is a selfish. Actually, one is selfish is being good. Selfish means thinking of the self. That is what is needed. One is thinking of the self, then that is fine. You are on the spiritual path. But one is not selfish. One of just, is just wants the sense gratify my family, my family, my body, everything related to the body he wants to sense gratify, right? That is not the, that is not the way. One will be not become consciousness of me. He will become consciousness of the world. He will become consciousness of the senses, right? He will become conscious of sense gratification at the bodily platform. He will become Gaudas. One needs to become Goswami. Goswami means to be liberated from all the senses, right? No desires of the senses are there. One needs to become Goswami from the away from the six senses, right? So you need to decide that you want to become Godas or Goswami. Godas live here. Goswami go to the Krishna's support, right? ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृदयेषु तिष्ठति ब्राह्मण्य ब्रह्मायन् सर्वभूतानि यत्रात्रोधानि मायया. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृदयेषु अर्जुन तिष्ठति, right? तिष्ठति. हृदय देशे, right? O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy, right? With this body is made of Panchamahabhuta, it is made of material energy, right? So here he is there, he is directing all living entities, right? As a Paramatma, right? They're just sitting on a machine, right? Seeing the best examples, the Iron Man himself. तामेव सारणं गच्छा सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परां शान्तिं स्थानं प्रपश्यसि शाश्वतम्. O Scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Right? Surrender means 6 points. What are the surrender? Do what Krishna says. Whatever is recommended in the Gita, do that. Don't do what he says we should not do. He says some is pravatri, some is nivatti. Pravati means following what he does, what he says. Nivatti, what he does not, don't do what he should not. You should not do. Don't do that, right? So, as per your, as per disciple succession, all the regulative principles are. See Krishna as your guide and protector, right? What you have to see him as your guide. He is your guide only. He is your protector, right? Consider Krishna as your only friend. Who is your only friend? Krishna, right? Your mind can be friend or can be enemy. You have to use, but Krishna is always your friend. It is not sometimes if Krishna is your friend or Krishna is your enemy. No, it is always, it is a permanent thing that he is your only friend. Always be meek and humble in front of the God, right? You are nothing. This body, this material energy, this everything belongs to him. So how we need to behave from in front of Krishna, as a meek and humble in front of the God. Yeah, he is a supreme personality God, right? Just like Arjuna, right? Have no other desire than to serve the Lord. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam, right? Anyabhilashita shunyam, right? Any other desire should be zero. Any other desire should be zero. So have no other desire. So these are the 6 points. These are the 6 points of basically Krishna. Surrender. These are the 6 stages of basically that is mentioned, right? Anukulasya sankalpa. First one is the anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya vivarjanam, right? Anukulasya sankalpa, what Krishna says, what is favorable to your bhakti, do that. Pratikulasya vivarjanam, that should not be done. Leave, no intoxication, no meat eating, right? No gambling, right? These are no illicit sex. These four, that is, that should not be, that should not be done, right? So pratikulasya vivarjanam. He is the protector, right? He is the Rakshati Vishwaso, right? He is the protector, right? You need to know that. And Goptre Varanam, that Krishna is your only friend, right? And be Karpanya. Karpanya means always be meek and humble, right? Be miser, right? Be miser in front of him. Have no other desire, Atmani Vedan, right? Have no other desire than to complete surrender. Complete surrender. Have no other desire than to serve Lord. That what happens when you completely surrender unto him. So these are the 6 stages of surrender, right? Why these are the 6 stages of surrender. इति ते ज्ञानमख्यातं गुह्यद्गुह्यात्तरं मया विंशयात् अशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु. Thus I have explained to you the most confidential of all knowledge. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Yeah, he is saying, I have explained you everything, Arjuna. Now, this is the most confidential knowledge. I don't ask this, to non-devotees to listen to this, right? But just he is saying just I have given you the most confidential knowledge. Now, yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Whatever you want to do, now you do that. Deliberate on this fully and do what you wish to do. This much liberation he has given to Krishna, no, Arjuna. This is the most important shloka. Then we comes to Manmana Bhava Madbhakto. We learned this in the ninth chapter also. He says this two times. So very important shloka. He says this same shloka two times. Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhya Gimam Namaskuru Mam Evasyashi Satyam Te Paritagne Priyoshi Me. Always think of me and become my devotee. Right? Always think of me. How? You chant Hare Krishna. Worship me and offer your homage to me. Right? Worship me, offer homage to me. Thus you will come to me without fail. Right? Amam evashi satyam te. Thus you will come to me without fail. And Mama Vishatante Paritagni Priyosi me. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Paritagni Priyosi me. Because you are my very dear friend, I promise you this. Right? So become one must need to become like a pure bhakta, like Arjuna. Right? So always thinking of him, always worshipping him, paying homage to him, right? Then one will always go to the Shri Radha Govinda, right? Then 18.66, final conclusion. Sarva dharman parityaja, mamikam sharanam raja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami mam suja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me, right? Do your activities, do everything. But all abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender, just completely surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. It says even you have done all the sinful reaction actions, but still you will be, no reaction, no reaction will come if you have completely surrendered. Just abandon everything, right? Right. No, and the Valmiki was there. He had killed so many people. He was a plunder looter. But when Narad Muni came and started completely surrendered to the Lord, what happens? All the reactions were vanished. All reactions comes to zero. Putna killed so many child before killing Krishna. Before killing Krishna, so many childs were also killed, right? So much sinful activities were already done. But what happened? All fully surrendered, right? Lot of examples are there. Lot of examples, right? And then we learned about the Ajamila. Ajamila also in the starting, he did, he was good, but in at the maximum time, he did all the sinful things only, right? Illicit sex and all the sinful things he did, right? But at the end, when he called Narayana and then he started again the devotion service, then he went back to the Goloka Vrindavan, right? So Vaikuntha, right? So this is what is needed when all varieties sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam mam ekam only me. Just surrender unto me. He's not saying surrender onto someone else. He's says surrender onto me. So now the Gita teaching is over. Your now guidance regarding whom to teach the Gita to. Right? So now whom to teach, right? Whom to teach? Now Krishna will say, Idam te nath pashkaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha shushruve vacham na cha mamyo bhayushyati. This confidential knowledge may not be explained to those who are not austere or devoted, right? One is not austere because they will not know that what is happening, huh? Or engaged in devotion service, nor to one who is envious of me, right? This confidence may not be explained, right? He says may not be explained. But why then we are distributing books, you would say? Why you are spreading this knowledge? Because Vaishnavas are more merciful, right? Vaishnavas are very merciful. They don't want anyone to go to the hell, right? They always want that everyone should have this knowledge, right? Everyone must have this knowledge so that they can be elevated to the Goloka Vrindavan, right? They are just merciful, right? It's just the mercy of the Guru, right? This is the mercy of the Guru. 18.6 या इदं परमं गुह्यं मद्भक्तेषु अभिदास्यति भक्तिं मयि परां कृत्वा मामि वश्यति असंशयः. Secret to the devotees, devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me, right? And at the end, he will come back to me, right? So one who explains the supreme secret to devotees, who explains Srila Prabhupada, devotional service is guaranteed, right? And at the end, he will come back to me. So much assurance he is giving, right? नाच तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रिय कृतामः Avitana chaye tashmad anya priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear, right? So Vaishnavas, or the Vaishnavas, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, right? So all the Vaishnavas are very dear to the Krishna. अधेष्यते च मामे मां धर्मं संवादम अव्योह ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहम इष्टस्याम इति मे मति है. I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation worships me by his intelligence, right? And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence, right? Just by reading what you are doing, you are worshipping Krishna by your intelligence, because you are trying to learn. Who is actually learning? Your mind is learning. Who is seated inside you? There is there is soul and Paramatma. So Paramatma is satisfied with that, because you are being engaged in cultivating some knowledge. Some cultivating some knowledge, and by that, if you follow, that is much more better, right? Because these 6 stages, he told that what kind of worshippers are there, what kind of 6 stages, if you do this, you do that. 6 stage was just to cultivate knowledge. If you are just reading the Gita also, that is also starting of that things, right? Then you will progress, then you come to the karma yoga, then nishkam karma yoga, then to the devotion service, then ananya bhakti. So Shraddhavan Anashuyascha Shuyad Api Yo Naraha Sopi Mukta Sabaloka Prapyunat Punya Karmanam. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reaction and attains to the planets where the pious travel. Right? Where just by listening with faith without envy becomes free from sinful reaction. At least you will go to the pious planets, right? Attains to planets where pious people live, right? 18.73 Arjuna Vacha Nashtu Moha Smritilabdha Tvat Prasadam Mayachita Stitosmi Gata Sandeha Karishya Vachanam Tvava. Arjun said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, right? Achyuta, infallible one. My illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy, and I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instruction. Now he is all prepared, because he everything that is to be known has been known. All the things that is been mentioned in all the Vedas is mentioned in these 18 chapters. Everything is clear to him now, right? So if you don't feel the way the Arjuna feels, read again and again, right? If we don't feel, we must read. So it is for us only that we must feel, we must read, because the feeling should be equivalent to Arjuna. Until we get that, we must keep reading, right? We must keep reading. Sanjay said, "Thus have I heard the conversation of the two of thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end." Right? He is, he is having ecstasy. By mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. He is, mysticism. He is present in all the 16,108 palaces at the same time, living the girl's life, and then becoming one when coming out, right? This is all the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. Right? He is being thrilled. O king, when I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I am struck with even greater wonder, and I rejoice again and again. Right? Krishna himself is front of him. One will rejoice. Right? Bhakta will rejoice. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Sharir, Vijayo Bhute, Dhurvanatir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. Right? So now India says, sorry, king, your sons are going to lose, because wherever Krishna is, there is victory certain. Right? Wherever Krishna is, there is victory certain. Right? So that is my opinion. Right? So we learned in the last chapter, the conclusion chapter, and freedom from how to be freedom from bondage through karma yoga, right? Then the 5 factors of the action that is needed, right? Then only anything can be done. And then what are the 3 modes that is controlling everything? What are the actions, various activities, workers and all. And how the purification from the one ashrama dharma is done. Shreyan Sarva Dharmo Viguna. Then or at the confidential knowledge, the Brahman platform, Mad Bhaktim Labhate Vanam, right? Bhaktya Mama Vinanati, right? Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, right? Pure Bhakti acting in Krishna consciousness, Sarva Dharma Parityajan, right? Acting Krishna consciousness, Sarva Dharman Parityajan. Conclusion, Jatra Yogeshwara Krishna, right? Whatever Krishna is there, the victory is there only, right? So these are some safety aspects to your chanting. Be so just be sorry for mistakes. Just be attentive while chanting. Forgive people who did the mistakes to us, right? And just forgive. Forgiveness should be there. Be enthusiastic to chanting, right? Always be enthusiastic. Daily you have to chant this round. We take a some sankalpa. Thank Krishna to everything, right? Thank Krishna for everything that because whatever there is, it belongs to the Krishna. Whatever you are having, belongs to Krishna. Thank him for everything. May I have gratitude. And why? Yamalicious for holy name and Harikatha. Right? One should be yamalicious for holy name and Harikatha, right? One should be enthusiastic and one should be, feel yamalicious to that. So here we comes to the end of the chapter, right? And our session of Bhagavad Gita. I hope you all, gained something out of it. I hope I was able to understand you something and get you understand something. And so sorry for anything, I have said, don't take it otherwise. Hare Krishna. Oh, my video was off. Hare Krishna. Any questions so far, and then, because next, I guess level 2 will be starting soon. Each and every shloka will be there then.
Hello, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can you hear
Hare
me?
Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I wanted to know वापस कभी होने वाला है class?
Level 1 only Mataji or level 2?
Same class. I want a repetition because
Okay,
initially for the
Mataji, I
first
guess
Bengali
in a
version.
half month or 2 month, 2 3 months, I guess it repeats, Mataji. 2 months
Okay,
it
what is level
repeats.
2, sir?
Mataji, in level 2, same Bhagavad Gita will be told, and then in that, each and every shloka will be described. So if we take daily, in around 3.5 months, it gets completed in around 3 months.
Okay, so can we attend that?
Yes, Mataji, yes, sure, Mataji. Just you need to do the quiz, I guess. The quiz is there. Online quiz is there. Simple questions are there. 10 questions are each chapter is there. Simple quizzes are there. You just need to attempt it. You will get the certificate, and then this whole class will be on to the level 2 itself.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
So any questions? Belongs to any of the 18 chapter or as in Bhagavad Gita as in Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the class was interesting and knowledgeable Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. All glories to the Guru and Gauranga. Anyone else? Hare Krishna. Just keep reading. Just don't stop reading or either
Hare Krishna Mataji's and Prabhuji's, do mark your attendance.
yes.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you very much. It was nice. It was really very nice. Very
Hare Krishna.
intriguing, interesting, बहुत interesting रहा. So
Yes, man. Krishna speaks interestingly, Mata. It's all the knowledge. The knowledge we need to have at least. Hare Krishna. Okay. So no questions of वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you everyone for joining for these 18 days. I hope you all had gained something.
Hare
And
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
I have
Mata.
a question. Can you send the participants link of how to do the quiz Prabhuji video?
Okay, Mataji. I think I will share in the counseling group, Mataji. If you are
Yes,
added in the counseling
Prabhuji.
group,
Yes, Prabhuji. I
okay.
mean.
Okay, Matari. I will share there only the level 1 quiz, from there, one can go to the quiz link and, start the quiz from there only. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Matari.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.